And a wedding in the sun with pus-filled lips.
I've never been in so much pain. If you pushed onto my lips, they would swell up.
You may not kiss the bride.
I've never seen anything like it. My lips swelled up like footballs.
It never crossed the mind of 47-year-old Deborah Kelly when she decided to have her lips plumped for her wedding.
It's fair to say I've always been insecure about my looks. I do have some problems with my skin which have led to a great deal of self-confidence issues. But to get married in your 40s and to the husband of my dreams, I wanted to look the best I possibly could.
3 months before her wedding, Deborah decided to have a natural, non-permanent filler in her lips to give them a fuller effect.
The whole idea was it would only last for 3 months, so I would look lovely for my wedding, but then I would get back to the natural look after the wedding.
However, when Deborah had her consultation with the surgeon, she was sold a very different, much more permanent product.
He was very reassuring, so I decided to have the injections because I'd already made my way there. I'd already booked my appointment. I said, okay, I'll go ahead with that. I put my trust in the surgeon. You know, you do, don't you? You think that they know their job better than you.
But the filler that was injected into Deborah's lips caused a horrific reaction.
What happened was my lips swelled up like footballs. I've never seen anything like it. I was told to, to keep freezing them with ice packs.
Eventually, when the swelling started to subside, Deborah noticed that lumps were forming in her lips.
I've never been in so much pain. If you pushed onto my lips where the lumps were, they would swell up.
The lumps in Deborah's lips caused by the infected filler got worse and ended up affecting her wedding day in Sri Lanka.
I was slightly dreading the kiss, so it ended up as quite a quick kiss.
By the evening, Deborah's lips had become much more painful.
We did embrace because it was our wedding night, but my lips were stinging and they were starting to get a little bit bigger. I was disappointed. I really feel that, the fairy tale that I had in my mind wasn't necessarily what I ended up with.
Deborah's infected lips have affected the early years of her marriage.
Years after these injections, I still have sensitive lumps in my lips. We were hoping that they would go down, so we'd be able to, kiss and hug and everything as a normal couple.
With the wedding a distant memory and Deborah's lumpy lips still causing her discomfort, she's in London to see craniofacial surgeon Niall Kirkpatrick to see if anything can be done.
Yeah, there really are quite a few lumps, and they are very hard. There are one or two down this side here, but mostly it's this big one in the centre, isn't it? And there's a fairly big one just here.
Examination over, and Niall gives Deborah his verdict.
Sometimes in the early stage, when you start to get early lumps forming, then injections with steroids can be very helpful. But when you're a few years down the line and you have really solid, hard lumps, it's very rare that injections alone really settle things down. My view is that you'd benefit from actually trying to remove them. And I think those are your two options.
Right.
Of which I think you're more likely to benefit from the surgical option than the steroid and injection option.
Following the consultation, Deborah is left to consider her options and decide whether to go ahead with surgery.
I had thought that there would be a suggestion for having the filler cut out of the lips. I was dreading it, to be perfectly honest, because of the scars. And also I'm a scaredy cat, to be fair.
2 weeks later, Deborah has decided not to take Niall's advice to go under the knife and has opted to have steroid injections to try and shrink the balls of filler.
As that sort of settles over the next few hours, she may feel that there's no real change, but slowly, if the steroid is going to have any effect, we'll see it starting to have an effect as a few weeks go by. So it's just a little bit swollen, but probably not as much as it feels. So.
Yes, fine. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that this is going to work. I've been trying to encourage my husband to have a renewal of our vows, and it would just be so perfect to be able to have that experience without swollen lips.
There's a small chance that the steroids will work, but Deborah's fear of going under the knife will more than likely mean that her lumpy, infected lips will continue to come between husband and wife for some time.